coming, so if they said they didn't get it, did they delete my email? I got budgets from everyone, so.
You know you didn't miss that check.
I noticed in the
Jeez.
coroner's budget, they had rent in there now. The next one's gonna be housed in somewhere in the county, isn't it?
That we're anticipating.
The jail basement, we won't need rent.
No. Oh, I wish he would've came. Randy did come to my office and says, you know, that he's retiring from the jail, and not to be mean, but he doesn't want to be housed in the jail. And he is going to run most of it out of his home, but feels like if he has to meet with someone because of an issue, he would rather meet here in this building than to make
So he expects us to pay him rent, and then he's gonna have to have an office here too?
Well, I don't know who made this budget because it was laying on my desk one day, so I'm
Well,
not
Scott
sure
probably did,
if Scott made it or Randy made it. But when I spoke with Randy, he had no intentions of charging rent. He was just gonna do most of the work laptop-wise
So
at
we'll
his
just
home.
cut the rent off, and he can do whatever he wants then, I guess.
Right, but he always wanted to be able to use this if he had to meet with someone.
Well, Jenny, if he had to come here, can he use one of these conference rooms rather than
Yeah.
have an office?
And that's fine. And like we spoke to, in most cases where the coroner has to come and meet from someone, knowing from experience, they go to their house. Like Scott came to my house the last place I'd want to go is, I guess meet with the coroner. I have to go to the basement of the jail when I'm already, you know, stressed out with what's going on.
Sure.
Please come meet me in the basement of the jail. And the one time I met him over here in the funeral home, which was good too. And it's not, if he keeps his deputy, which is going to be Scott is his deputy, from what Randy said, they're always welcome to use that. You know, Scott's not going to say, you can't use my little office sit-down room. I don't know if you've ever been over there, back in the back, like the house part. There's a little office that he meets with people who are making arrangements, or you have to get the autopsy back from Fort Wayne, or situations where they have to talk to him. And he can still use that too, but it would be better to come to this building and meet like in a little room than go to the basement of the jail. And like Randy said, he doesn't really need an office because most of the work's done either at the site where it happened, you know what I mean, or in Fort Wayne when they do the autopsy. So he has to be pretty mobile with whatever he does. But I'm sure he talked to Scott about the budget.
Yeah, it shows in his budget that it's $1,000 increase in office rent.
Yeah, I don't know. I don't know who wrote it. And like I said, I don't know who dropped the budget off to my office. It was just laying on my
I
desk.
imagine Scott did, probably.
Well, that's typical Scott. He always wanted to increase office.
Yeah, because it's up to Scott to make the budget. It's not Randy. He's not the.
Yeah, that should have been Scott making it.
And equipment and maintenance lease is also up 1,000. And salaries, they want a new deputy. So I definitely think that we should try and get a hold of Randy today and see if he can come in here today and.
Well, he'll have an opportunity to come back, sure.
Okay, so we can.
Right.
Right.
do
You
our
can
thing
chop
and
it
let him-
all up.
Which
Just a second.
practice in the past.
Randy, when he came to my office, he's going to be the elected person. He wanted to keep Scott as the chief deputy and Scott, am I saying it right? Scott's dad as the deputy, but was unsure if he'd need that deputy one, but I see they went ahead and put that in there. So he must have spoke with him because Randy's the one that said he wouldn't need another part-time person just to.
Well, when we work on these again, like after our next meeting, and we start zapping things, then they'll have the opportunity to come back. So
Yeah,
we'll hear from him.
But the thing about it is, who do you talk to? Because it's just like you talking to Lisa. Lisa made the budget for the treasurer, but she's not the treasurer.
Well, I think when we do this, I think when they come back to complain or whatever, I think the new one's the one that ought to come in probably.
Well,
He's
then
going to have to do a budget.
Then we need to ask LaRue to come in because we know you see what I'm saying? You gotta do.
Well, but there was no changes there really on hers too much. Was there any changes? The treasurer really didn't have anything, did they?
No.
LaRue will be happy with whatever. Well, I think she will.
She's gonna have to be. She has
Well, yeah.
to work within that. But yes, with the changes.
I noticed the recyclable budget's not on there, don't we have to overlook that again?
Yes.
It'll come from their board, but yeah, I haven't seen it yet.
See, last year we had to have a special
Come on.
meeting for it.
Yeah.
You just might as well tell Jarrell we're not having a special meeting for it this
Right.
time.
We talked about that earlier.
What?
Every time we have a meeting that has to be noted, when you guys, did you get the red notes? This
Yeah,
one
I
here?
read that somewhere.
Yeah, every time we have August 7th after your normal meeting, I wanted anybody that you wanted to come to meet with the changes and the recommendations on August 7th. And then these first two publications, when I do the publication for the county, I'll do the publication for solid waste. Second, when I do the one for the county solid waste. And then when we have this public hearing for the county, when we have that public hearing on September 5th, you'll open the meeting and you'll say, is there anyone here to object the solid waste budget?
Okay.
At that time, it'll take like 5 minutes unless someone's here.
We open one meeting, close it, then open the second meeting.
Right, and that's okay to do that, but you have to do, our advertisements have to be separate. They can run on the same date and same page and everything, but they have to run separate. But you have to do a meeting, like you're holding it just for that particular reason.
Okay, I was trying to remember what Jarrell told me, and I think the way he told me, with the way that the law reads now, which changes constantly, that it has to be advertised the same time ours is advertised,
Yes.
the budget does.
So, and two different things, so like over here is the county rates and levies, and then right next to it is his. But we can't put it in ours and we have to pay two separate claims, so when I send it to the paper, I'm gonna have to say, you have to send me a claim for this and a claim for this. This has to be out of Jarrell's budget. Solid waste, this has to be out of county.
Right.
Which was like that before, but we have to do it. I have to be the one that sends it to the paper.
Jarrell's busy working on his referendum for Whitco. He hasn't got time.
Well, at least it isn't the election.
Well,
Or no, I don't,
In looking through, I don't see Gene coming in, looking through his budget, I don't see any changes.
In fact, it's down $300.
Yes, I noticed it.
Wonder if Denny's coming in. His probably didn't change a whole lot either, did it?
raises stayed the 3%. Uniforms, we forgot to put their uniforms in last year, and I'm not really sure if it just got missed, or,
Maintenance uniform?
yeah, like what, did Denny their shirts and stuff? It wasn't appropriated last year, but it was in 2011, so, and I looked through all our notes.
that's not the only department that has them, is it? Thought GSI, I thought Dan,
He pays
And-
for them out of his payroll.
the Scott, did too,
Scott.
Wagner,
They don't come.
Board of Health,
He must, because
sure,
it's not Cintas, yeah.
so
And
they're
I-
paying.
Yeah, they're paying for it through their Cintas or whatever. But yeah, Denny's didn't really, I think the only thing, I even spoke with him about, he wanted to give his part-time help raises, it's been a couple years. But that's still within his 21,000 for
Yeah,
part-time money.
like what we pay for part-time scale. He's paying them less than what the scale max is.
So he hasn't maxed them out. I think they're like 10 or 11, max is 14.
Well, occasionally we update that, you know, because,
Yeah.
I mean, I don't know how long ago it's been since we've done that. What's our cap right now?
14 in the state or whatever is 8.25. So
Yeah, it's
well,
We're right at
minimum
14.
wage.
14.
We're
Yeah.
well within our, what we're
Oh,
supposed to
yeah.
be.
Yeah, because we instead of giving a number amount, we just decided to start saying minimum wage up to something.
Oh, okay.
So that we were always in compliance with minimum wage.
And that comes within our salary ordinance part of the budget?
Yes. I think something Pam could do is go through the part-time rates and see how many are at the max of 14. You know, maybe there are a lot of people at 14 and it could be moved. I'm not saying it should be moved or anything, but that way you know you don't have 30 people making $14 an hour when a supervisor can't move them anywhere then.
I doubt if they're at the,
Yeah.
very many at the max,
I wouldn't think so.
I would think.
But then, geez, we got a long time waiting on the AD.
That was part-time,
Yeah, is
Look
max
at the
at
amount of
14.
money that Gene has in an account.
regardless where they're at.
Right, regardless where they're at. So if they're, like, but if, what I always try to do too with the correction officers and stuff, they get the same wage that a full-time correction officer gets. It's just, they're part-time. So they're paid for the same for the job.
What was that one I seen in here was making 19 something part-time?
I don't know.
Remember I said something to you, Jim?
If there are ever any exceptions, it's supposed to come to us.
That's right.
If there are ever any exceptions, like a department head wants to pay over the full-time or the part-time wage scale, then it's supposed to come to council. Maybe it was the museum, just in here. And then she's
Might
probably,
have been Kim.
No, it wasn't that. Struck me odd, because she had wrote with an ink pen right above it what she was making. It was 19 something for part-time help.
I can't remember who that was.
I don't know either.
extension maybe?
Yeah, I'm gonna stand up and stretch.
It wasn't Jen, was it? She's got a lot of ink. How you doing, Pam? You adapting good?
Yeah?
Nobody's coming in complaining, driving you nuts yet?
Oh, no. Not yet.
Oh wait, I know where it is.
How about those commissioners?
Health Department. Mary Ann.
Yeah. Why is it that? Why is that?
Yeah, why was one of the?
Who is it?
Part-time food sanitarian McCluskey is at $19.96 an hour. She must have just been, she probably was an exception a long time ago.
Was that Mary?
Mary Ann.
Mary Ann McCluskey.
She called me recently. She kind of scared me away, left a message. Who's providing food at your auctions? I thought, left a message.
Uh-oh.
I thought, oh crap, somebody got sick, I suppose, or something. So when she called back, she just wanted to, said she just wanted to know, said, as long as you're using the nonprofit groups, whatever, 4-H church, whatever, no problem. It kind of relieved me, but I thought, did somebody get sick? Oh, Jesus.
Not good.
So was she an exception, Paula, you said?
I'm thinking that's, you know, if you're over 14, there should be some record of an exception in the minutes. But
We've got some exceptions, Paul.
yeah, Mary Ann McCluskey, but I'm not sure, I don't know how old that exception is or anything like that. Sometimes it's worth it to go over the 14 to get somebody and just work
Well, we
with
had some in
part-time.
the courts that way too, I think. Or one of the courts or prosecutors or somewhere, we had some that was paid higher than
We
the.
did in the courts, I
Jenny,
think.
maybe the victim advocate,
Don't remember who though.
She's,
She's
federal
full-time
grant.
now.
yeah, but
Maybe you want to look at that, Pam.
yeah, well, it might just be good to get all the rates and present it to council to say this is what our part-time people are making. I know you need something to do.
yeah,
Your learning curve is all right. Your job doesn't look very good today, does it?
That's all right.
Nadine, you're up if you want to